Okay, for the very first part of our gnome making, you are going to build the body, and you're going to build the body out of 2 pinch pots. So here are the materials you need. You need 2 handfuls of clay. You need water with, one of these sticks, and you need a toothbrush, and you need some slip, and you should have one of those on every single table. Okay, let's get started. So when you are making a pinch pot, all you're doing is taking something that's a ball, sticking your fingers inside of it. I'm sorry, not your fingers, your thumbs inside of it. And you are pinching out the sides as you turn the pot. You're going to want to build up the sides so that they kind of curve in at the top. That way you are going to be able to add another piece. Now, this is becoming really flat on the bottom. That's okay. You don't need to worry about that. But you want to pinch out the sides so that they're even. And what I mean by that is you don't want one side to be really thick and then another side to be really thin. You just kind of want them to be the same thickness. Okay, doesn't have to look pretty yet, but just kind of generally this kind of a pinch pot shape. Okay, there's my pinch pot number 1. Like I said, it's not pretty yet, but that's what it looks like. All right, my pinch pot number 2. And pinch out the center again and build up the walls. I feel like I have a little less clay with this, so I think I'm going to make this into my head. So one of these is going to be your head, and one of these is going to be the body, the trunk part of your gnome. Just kind of continue to make it look like that. All right, so now I have 2 pinch pots. We're gonna smooth this out after we're done. Like I said, this one ended up being just a little bit smaller, which is fine. And so what I'm going to do, I don't want to enclose this because then the air will get trapped and it will explode. So this is what I'm going to do. Take your pinch pots like this. I'm going to turn the body one of them over so that it's open on the bottom, like that. And then I'm going to use the bottom of this and I'm going to attach it to the bottom of this pot. So now I have 2 pots like this. I'm going to attach this to this using, you can either do this with the stick, or you can add a little water to this and rough it up like this. I tend to just kind of like to rough it up with my stick, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to dip it into the slip, which is just watered down clay. And I'm just going to brush it on to my pinch pots. Okay, this is where I'm going to glue them together. I'm going to glue this one to this one. This is going to be my head. This is going to be the body. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna put my fingers up through here so that I'm supporting the bottom right here of the head, if you can see that. And then I'm going to just kind of lay it on its side. You don't want to push it too hard on its side though. And I'm going to make this seam that goes all the way around. I'm going to weld it together. You want to weld it so that it doesn't come off. If you just set one thing on top of the other thing when you are attaching things, very often when you put it in the kiln and then I take it out, it'll just like come off. It'll break apart because it's not welded together well enough. You want to have this going on. You don't want it to just all be one pinch pot. You want it to look like a head and then the body. So make sure as you go around, you're making that seam deep enough that you have that difference. Okay, then I'm just going to take my thumbs and my fingers and I am going to smooth this out. If you need to, use the spray bottle. If it's getting a little bit too dry, make sure it has a nice smooth outer shell here. Okay, so this is basically what you end up with. I could probably do a little bit more smoothing here, but you'll notice I have this seam. It's deep enough that I can see the difference between the top and the bottom. And I've smoothed out all of my surface so that it looks a lot smoother. I could still do a little bit more. And it's curved on the bottom, but as I set it down, do you see how it's nice and flat? Just kind of makes it flat. But you don't want it, you want it to kind of curve in right here on the bottom and then curve in here on the top. Next week, we are going to add a hat and it's gonna come over this. So you don't need to worry about the top, but it should look nice like this. You're gonna take this, you are going to put it inside of your plastic bag that has your name and your teacher on the front.